Hi everyone, I'm Sinem. Welcome back to another episode of One Magazine, 3 Collage Ideas. The first video I made in this series was really loved. I received so many kind and sweet comments. So I thought, why not make another one? In fact, I'm thinking of turning this into a little TV show format, with each video as a new episode. What do you think? Could be fun, right? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Now, let's get to our magazine. To be honest, the first few pages of this issue were a bit intimidating. The visuals, colors, and shapes didn't spark anything in my mind at first. But then, I saw this face image, and I loved it. I knew immediately that it had to be the centerpiece for all 3 collages. Even my camera seemed to agree, trying to focus on it over and over again. Lately in my own life, I've been going through a phase of facing what I truly want, accepting what I don't, and thinking about where I'm headed. Maybe that's why this face visual resonated with me so deeply. Let's see what it inspires. I really like this hand image too. Maybe I'll find a way to combine it with the face. And since the face has a kind of historic or symbolic feel, I'm pulling this image as well. The eye on the pendant is also quite intriguing. This page caught my eye. It's just so aesthetically pleasing, but I couldn't really connect them to the face image. Still, I absolutely loved the blue color and texture, so I'm setting it aside, just in case. Since the face image has a soft flat color without much texture, I thought these black and white women's portraits might help it stand out. I wasn't completely sure, so I placed a tiny paper marker on the page, my usual method in case I want to come back to it. I loved this makeup brush stroke. In these types of fashion magazines, there are often mascara smudges, lipstick prints, and stunning eyeshadow colors. And I really enjoy using them. They're perfect for adding abstract touches to collages. I definitely recommend trying them out. This close-up face might blend well with my main image. Maybe I'll layer it over the main face so her real eyes peek through. Could be a fun experiment. I'm not sure if it's the face image or just my own mood lately, but I find myself drawn to more melancholic, romantic, calm visuals. The colors and textures on these pages seem to reflect that feeling. Look, there's even an article in the magazine about collage design. How fun! But stylistically, it doesn't really match the vibe I'm going for with the face image. I love these accidental collages that happen when you flip through the magazine and see the layered cutout pages. Actually, I've been thinking of doing a whole video based on that idea, maybe sometime soon. Now let's declutter and take a second look at the images I've pulled. I'm going to cut out the main visual first so I can start testing and experimenting more freely. And now, it's time to try things out and reflect. These early tests didn't quite spark anything in me, so I'm going back to the magazine for a second round. Let's see what we can find this time. This one caught my eye during the first browse too. The colors, the costume, the setting. It's all very romantic. It should contrast nicely with the face image as well. This page also adds a nice contrast. I love how one eye falls in the black space and the other in the colorful background. Let's keep this one. I just can't stop thinking in romantic and emotional themes today. I think the collages in this episode will have more narrative than surreal touches. Let's dive into the first idea. Here's what I have in mind. I want to place the face image where the woman in the photo is leaning and position the hands like they're resting on the eye. It might create a very tender and poetic effect. I usually prefer cutting step by step instead of making large cuts all at once. This turned out so delicate and romantic. I love the theatrical mood it creates. This time, I want to add a small detail from outside the magazine. The magazine's texts are mostly black and white and won't create the contrast I want, so I'm using a page from an old book. If you have old books you don't plan to give away or donate, don't throw them out. They can be great material for collage, especially with their aged paper tones. Look at this, the brush stroke image fits perfectly here. Combined with the book page, it now feels like a visual theater scene. Let's go a bit more dramatic. I want to suggest a teardrop feeling, so I'm using my favorite little circle puncher. I highly recommend it. It can transform a collage instantly. The idea is to show tears flowing from the face image onto the book page. A gentle visual transition. But the orange tone was too neutral. Remember that vibrant red page from earlier? I'm taking that red instead. It pops much better. I'm turning the tears from red on the face to white as they flow onto the page, to give the collage a more dynamic rhythm rather than a flat feel. Let's simplify the white dots a bit. And finally, a subtle touch to the face. And we're done. Time for a quick photo. On to the second idea. I cut out little circles from my old book, and I want to flip this image upside down, so the sky and clouds are at the bottom. In this collage, I want the face image to represent a divine presence, a godlike energy watching us from the sky. The black textures and gem-like shapes give me a feeling of grandeur and power. To layer it more naturally, I'm slicing into the clouds a bit and tucking the face in between. The circles represent our lives, each one unique like a different story. Of course, none of our lives are this neat. So let's add some emotional texture with color. Much better. Now it feels like stardust scattered across the universe. Let's capture a photo. Now for the third idea, I was torn between two backgrounds, one in black and one in yellow. But I went with the black circular design with the Istanbul backdrop. It just felt right. The placement of one eye in black and one in a brighter tone gives me a feeling of memory, like the contrast between past and present. That reminded me of an image I saved of an open suitcase. I think it'll help turn this collage into a visual memory of a beautiful journey. Now I'll use some of the black and white text from the magazine to create little moments of this journey. These texts also contrast nicely with the background, so it should work well. And that's it, collage complete. Let's get a photo. Now let's place all three collage ideas side by side. Which one would you choose? Which collage feels the most you? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. For me, this one feels closest to my own style and emotions, so I'm going with it. Let's glue it down. When gluing full backgrounds, I like to start with regular tape. It creates a more stable base. Then, I use glue for the layered pieces. To avoid fingerprints or bubbling, I go over it with a roller. To make the transition between the red and white circles smoother, I use half circles at the edges. These tiny details can really help make your collage feel more cohesive and layered. Highly recommend trying it. This collage was such a joy to create. If you enjoyed it too and would like to have this original piece on your wall, it's available in my Etsy shop. I'll leave the link in the description. So, what do you think about this idea of turning the concept into a little TV show series? Your thoughts, your likes, and your shares are a huge motivation for me. Thanks for watching and see you next time.